Good morning, everybody. This is Mitzi with Mit's Adventures. I'm not sure how this is going to work. I have my camera precariously set up, so it may go flying any minute. But the lighting was kind of weird because it's early. So we're going to try this. I was just thinking about some things this morning. It's early. It's Tuesday. And I was watching a video and it reminded me of when I first started doing all this. And I didn't hesitate. I thought, I can do this. I moved around all my life. I wasn't afraid. I wasn't worried about anything. It was like, no fear. And then I had the incident, where the policeman told me I couldn't park in the truck stop anymore in my little town. I don't know if you guys remember that. I got all shook up, started crying. So there was fear. I had just ignored it because I was in my little town doing what I wanted to do, staying in places that I was familiar with. I hadn't gone past the city limits to sleep at night. And of course, eventually, the small town, the cops noticed that I was always parking at the truck stop and told me I couldn't do it anymore. And I got so upset. And because I had to get out of my little comfort zone and go to a different area other than my town, my hometown. So I did have fear. I just, I guess I had just, I'm always talking about how thoughts become things, and I was always thinking, I'm not afraid. I ain't afraid. I was afraid, but I kept saying I wasn't afraid. So when it finally happened, it kind of shook me, because it totally made me have to face my fear. I wasn't afraid as long as I didn't have to face my fear. Just kind of ignored it. And once I faced it, then I realized there was nothing to be afraid of. You should always be cautious and not do things that just are obviously stupid, like sleeping with the doors unlocked or whatever. Not that anyone's ever tried my doors when I was asleep, but, you do stay cautious, because you never know. But I don't really have any fear. The fear I have now, which I am acknowledging, and I'm sure I'm going to have to face it eventually, and that's a fear of some of the roads that I may end up having to take to get through the mountains. Because I was never very good at those steep, especially this way, steep, going back down, mountain roads. I've never really lived I lived in North Carolina, which is where the Blue Ridge Mountains are, and I lived in Tennessee. You had to go through a certain section where it was steep, but nothing like the Rocky Mountain roads. And that does make me nervous, because I'm pretty sure that to get from here to California, I'm going to have to go over some mountains to get to the West Coast. Yeah, the West Coast. So that makes me a little bit nervous. But not nervous enough to not do it. I'm not putting it off. I'm just waiting for everything to get right. I did get my starter put in. I've got to stop using my neighbor. Because it seems like it's not starting. It's starting. It's still starting. But the sound is very different now. And it sounds like it's having to try harder. So I don't know. I just don't know. And it still starts better if I try it and then turn it off and then start it. which I had to do before. But the noise it makes, like this morning, the very first time I tried to start it, it's almost like it's trying to wake up still, like me in the morning. It's kind of a groggy start. And it never did that before, so I don't know if he has something not totally tight. He told me my battery was totally loose and he tightened it. That shouldn't make a difference. I'm going to have somebody else look at it just to make sure it's attached right, because I'm a little bit nervous about it. And I love my neighbor, and he's a mechanic, but like I've said before, he's getting older. He's older than me, and I'm old. I'm 67. I think he's maybe 72, 70-something. So it's possible, that he's not as strong, maybe. He doesn't have it as tight as it should be. I'm talking about the starter now. I don't know. I'm going to have somebody look at it. I may have a surprise for you later. Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about it just in case. But obviously I'm at the park. I did my morning stuff. And I'm at the park drinking my coffee. I actually made my breakfast already this morning. So anyway, talking about fear. I also have a fear, and you all know this, of bears. I know I'm going to end up parking in a national forest where there's bears. I don't think I'll get out and walk too far away from my van because of my fear, but it's hard telling until it happens. I don't know. If there's a bunch of people around, I don't think it's going to bother me too much, but it's going to always be on my mind, I'm sure. But staying in my van in the national forest doesn't scare me, because I've gone through every possible scenario in my mind about how a bear could get to me if I'm in my van, and it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So I'm not too worried about sleeping in my van in the forest, in a national forest where bears are. So that's a fear. I guess I have a tiny fear that I'm not going to make it to all the places I want to make it to. But that's mostly because I'm older. We all have those thoughts. Like, never know what's going to happen tomorrow. But that one is just very minor, because I'm pretty well set in my mind of what I'm going to do and what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. That's the way I look at that. And that's the only way you can look at it, because nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. So you live for today, you plan for tomorrow, and you do the best you can with what you got, like I always say. And try not to hurt anybody along the way. Okay, so I'm still waking up. You can tell by the angles that it's early, because usually we don't have this kind of lighting. Right there. The sun is right there. Whew. Phew. But it's a good day. The park is always nice and breezy, and I love it. So I'm probably going to go sit at the bench and wake up a little more and finish my coffee. Nothing like coffee in the morning. It helps me wake up so much. I haven't had my tears today yet. Almost did. But I haven't yet. So I'm still waking up. And I'll talk to you in a minute. Hopefully I'll have a surprise for you. We'll see. Okay, you ready for this? Lamont had a load driving home. Lamont, my friend in Memphis, had a load near St. Louis, so I was going to go pick him up, and we were going to have lunch or dinner together. And my starter got put in yesterday, was it? It's still not working. It's doing the same thing it did before. So I'm sitting here stuck, and I actually got my friend Brian. He went to meet Lamont, and Lamont had a surprise for me. And of course I'm parked totally crooked to where I'm going to be rolling out of the bed all night, because I'm halfway on the concrete and halfway off the concrete. So I'm parked like this, and the bed is here, so I'm going to be rolling off the bed. So that's going to be fun. Okay, hi.
Hey, everybody.
Say hi, Brian.
Hi.
Brian brought Lamont over, and look what he brought me. Woohoo! I have an official real toilet. That's nice. I'm going to try to fit it into my what do you call it? My ottoman.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think it'll fit.
Once you come in and sit on the bed, you come sit where I'm at, and I'm going to sit in the seat.
That sounds
Okay.
all right. Get out of these raindrops. Stupid motorcycle in there and the bicycles. I like my stuff, but it was like, now I don't have room for that permanent shower.
Well, you do now.
Well, I do now. So,
You got
yeah.
a roll door?
It's got a roll door in the back, and even though everybody says, "Oh, I don't like the roll doors," you know, some guys are even taking their roll doors off. I got an idea.
Goodness. Okay. This is new territory. I've never done this before. This is the end of the video. I'm glad you got to see Lamont. I'm glad I got to see him too. He's a sweetheart. And I love you all. And I will talk to you tomorrow. I love you, Patty. Stay happy. Follow your bliss. Bye.